Let's talk about the M5 MacBook Pro. It only comes in a 14-inch version. It's also got the new M5 chip. Now, I've been using a lot of Formula One metaphors to describe these products, so let me put this in another F1 term. This is like the Max Verstappen of laptops, and that's really true about all of Apple's M-series MacBook Pro. If you don't watch F1, what it basically means is it's just the fastest. It's almost unfair how fast it is. It just keeps getting better. You know, to put this in perspective, it looked like Windows was catching up to Apple. They had a Qualcomm Snapdragon X Elite chip that looked like it was gonna work. And then Apple came out with the M4 and just blew right past them. Now, we're still on that same generation of Qualcomm chips. Apple now has a new M5 chip, which makes it even faster. Again, it's really like the uncatchable machine at this point. With the latest Apple Silicon, Apple has truly gone Mach 5. The new MacBook Pro also has an incredible display. It's a liquid retina, it's HDR capable, it's really impressive. Again, same as last year, but you know, it hardly matters when it's this good. Now, it's not an OLED laptop. The iPad does have that one advantage, but the visuals look very good. It has a max brightness of 1000 nits, unless you're watching HDR video, and then it can go up to 1600 nits. Now, I put this in direct sunlight, watched a video, I put a MacBook Air right next to it, and honestly, the difference was extreme. You could really actually see what was happening on the Pro's display. It honestly reminded me of Samsung's The Frame, which almost has a magic-like matte anti-glare display that's really, really special. It honestly felt a little bit like that. The new MacBook Pro also passes the Cyberpunk test. Now, maybe this is embarrassing for a tech editor to admit, but I'm actually playing Cyberpunk for the very first time. So it actually worked out pretty good. Now, this isn't the first time Apple has said that their MacBook Pros can play Cyberpunk. However, it is the first time I've played it on a Mac, and I've been able to switch from my gaming laptop to the MacBook Pro, keep playing the game right where I left off. The visuals are still very good. The gameplay is very smooth. I haven't had any lagging. It just works. Now, does it work as well as it would on an expensive gaming laptop? No, it doesn't. There are definitely some caveats there. The visuals aren't quite as smooth. It really maxes out at about 30 frames per second. Some fine details are a little bit pixelated, and there have been a couple times where the graphics have just kind of blown out in an awkward way. But I'm playing with ray tracing turned on, I'm playing with pretty high graphic settings, and like I said, there's really no lag at all. It just plays. We put this through benchmark testing. On Geekbench, it got a score of about 17,400. That's definitely a jump over the M4. It's not the best score we've recorded in our testing database. There are some high-end gaming laptops that can beat it, but those gaming laptops are super spec'd out, and some of them cost $4,000. This starts at $1,599. Let's talk a little bit more about the hardware. The keyboard, the display, the speakers, the webcam, all of it is really elite. It's satisfying to use. It's just very well done, which isn't a surprise, right? This is the Pro line. So here's the thing. This is a really good laptop. It's a really freaking good laptop. There's no denying that. But you knew there was a catch, right? All the things we're talking about, the display, the keyboard, everything I love about it, that was all pretty much true about last year's M4 MacBook too. So we're in this era of iterative improvements where companies are releasing new products on an annual basis. That's definitely true in Apple's case. And the actual upgrades from year to year aren't super necessary if you just invest it. If you happen to be at the point where you need a new laptop, yeah, definitely, I think you're gonna love this one. But if you have the M4, if you have the M3 even, do you really need to upgrade? Mark, our video producer, just told me he's still cutting 8K footage on an M1 MacBook. So again, if you need a new laptop, definitely go for it. But do you need it? The M5 chip is really what's new. Now, there is one thing that is different. Apple did include neural accelerators in the chip architecture. So if you're running large AI models on device locally, this is optimized for it in a way that the M4 isn't. That means it can run really large models with billions of parameters locally on device. That is pretty nifty if you're working in AI. All of which to say is, once again, Apple has designed an incredible product, but it's not necessarily a must-buy upgrade. And honestly, I'm getting tired of saying that. We're saying that about phones, about headphones, tablets, laptops, even smartwatches. They're coming out so fast. that there's really not that much of a difference anymore in between models. I really miss the product launches where there was this big new thing that we could all get excited about, and we're just not really seeing that these days. All right, so who is the M5 MacBook for? Now, like I said, there's definitely a lot of people who are gonna buy this and love this. If you're a student running really complicated engineering software, if you're a creative professional working with Photoshop or Adobe Illustrator, if you're in the film industry, there's tons of use cases where you're gonna need this MacBook Pro. It's definitely worth the investment. It's a great product. However, I can definitely see people going with alternative Apple options. I think there's a strong argument if you're working with video to get the Mac Studio with the M3 Ultra chip, or maybe you get the M4 iMac, then you can buy the iPad Pro with the OLED display and use that. So, you can cut footage on your iMac, your Apple Studio, on your MacBook Pro, and then when you need to show off test footage, you can use the iPad to do that. And that's the new MacBook Pro, iPad Pro with the M5 Silicon chip. I'm Timothy Beck Worth, tech editor at Mashable. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, keep coming back to Mashable for more tech news. If you have questions, drop them in the comments, find me on Twitter. We'll do our best to get back to you as fast as we can.